But you know, Belichick's too good of a coach. He deserves too much respect, and it'll be very disrespectful if you fire him this year.
Does he pull a Brady and go to like Washington or something? What like they were saying, because of Ron Rivera on the hot seat. Does he go to Chargers? Does he go to? Is he too old? Is he not adapting into the culture way? I'm not talking about play style. That's different.
I think he's adapted many times already.
Yeah.
So I don't think adapting is an issue for him.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another BTR podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe. Help us get to 200 because we're 2 away now.
We're 2 away as of this recording. We're hoping we wake up and it's none. So that means 200 and then get us to 300. But for whatever reason, I don't know if we will. So get us to 200 whenever this video comes out, if we haven't already. And as always, check out the audio. Like we said, if you guys are listening on audio, make sure you guys download it, give it a 5-star rating, help us get up those those charts. We're still trying to figure out how that stuff works. But if you guys are listening, head over to the YouTube and hit the subscribe button, like it, and then
check out the socials
mainly.
Instagram, Twitter,
TikTok. Follow, give it out everywhere. We're, like we said, challenge videos coming back soon. Without a further ado, let's just get right into it.
Get into it, baby. Chargers, Jets.
NFL.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And
we barely watched it because the Canucks were playing.
Yeah, Canucks were playing. And honestly, it was a tale. Like, the scoreline described the game perfectly. The Jets offense can't turn the ball over. And they just got strip sacked after strip sacked. Joey Bosa was living in the backfield. You have no chance if that's happening if you're Zach Wilson. And to be fair, like, that's the only slack I'll give Zach Wilson. But to be blunt, he wasn't really good. And Saleh said himself, he's like, he wasn't good, but he wasn't his worst game. I agree with that, what Robert Saleh said there.
Well, it's Zach Wilson. That's the definition of Zach Wilson, of what you just said.
Exactly,
Robert Saleh just said. We don't need to waste too much time into it. Battle of the QBs were pretty bad. Herbert obviously struggled from what he has done. Obviously, I don't know how much, like Nick Shook said, that injury is affecting him. I hope they pick it up. Just because I want to see this team. I just want to see this team do well with him.
It probably is affecting him because a guy that good
can't fall off all of a sudden.
Exactly.
And he's been playing with like bomb elbows and shoulders last year too, and he did well, right? So like he was up 30-0 in a playoff game before.
But yeah, Jets. If Aaron Rodgers does magically come back, figure out your old line.
I saw a guy, I think it was Dan Lebitard, saying like, "What if he actually did not tear his Achilles?"
Yeah, imagine, right?
Like if he comes back, he did not. If he comes back, he did not tear his Achilles. That's a conspiracy theory
right there. That's the biggest conspiracy theory of this.
If he comes back, he did not tear his Achilles.
There's no way,
right? Because speaking of, finish off.
Like what? It takes 10 to 12 months.
Yeah.
And like obviously how it should advance. At minimum, you could last 6 if you're if you have everything goes perfectly. He has 2 months in right now. There's no way.
There's no way. But speaking of torn Achilles, though, very quickly before I forget, Cam Akers. Once again, tore it again. First time was with the Rams, but the Super Bowl year, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Or he came, I don't know if he came back for it, but yeah. And then...
no, it was a year before. So he came back that season.
Okay, and then he tore it again. He was the emergency QB to Josh Dobbs. And then unfortunately tore his Achilles. Laid out a sick block to the point where Jeff Saturday gave him a pancake. Get up, but get well soon. Before we continue, remind me of soccer. And when we talk about soccer, that's a heads up for you guys. Whatever, what's happening Friday, remind me to bring that up today.
Of course I know what's happening Friday.
Yeah,
I have to get up for that.
Yeah,
but let's head into our superlatives. Finish off the week. Yeah, week 9. Are your biggest disappointment?
My biggest disappointment is
of week 9. What
was yours again?
Mine is the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure.
I'll start off then, I guess. Yeah. Atlanta Falcons, you found a way to falcon it up. You're having a good year until now, I guess, because Josh Dobbs doesn't know the name of his players, his teammates.
And cadences.
Kevin O'Connell was calling plays like how we call plays in a backyard football. Like, okay, the guy's going to throw. This guy, whoever, KJ Osborne is going to run an in route, right? TJ Hawkinson's going to run a slant, right? That's how we're legit running, like how we draw plays on the football. Yeah. That's what he was saying verbally in his ear. I
wish we could have watched that game a little bit. Oh, which is quick promo guest video dropping this weekend because we had a guest recording in the afternoon then. So we met, or
morning.
afternoon, like late. So we obviously missed most of that. But
Josh Dobbs, bro, I'm giving you credit though. Like,
yeah,
I wrote off Arizona like, okay, you're gonna be destroyed every game, no chance, right? Man kept him in the game almost every time, especially in the first half.
the minute he leaves, Arizona got shut out.
The
Now,
minute-
granted, they're playing a historically great defense.
Yeah,
but yeah,
exactly. And then he's 1-0 with the Vikings.
yeah. But for me, it was between two teams. I'm gonna give. It was between the Seahawks. I'm not gonna say the Seahawks though, because like I know Baltimore is now considered a Super Bowl contender. I don't care what anybody says. Now that being said, every time we say something good about a team or bad about a team, they do the opposite the week after, aka our rankings gets messed up.
Exactly.
But the reason why I'm not going with the Seahawks though, because the Ravens did this to the Lions as well, and yeah, the Seahawks were disappointing. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. And don't get me wrong, the Chiefs were disappointing too because they almost blew it. But I'm going with the Miami Dolphins for the simple fact that their 3 losses are against the good teams and their wins are all against bad teams. Yes, you play what's in front of you and you win those games. It's football. It's tough. We get it. We've seen upsets. I understand that. But you also need to be beating the good teams. At least the Buffalo Bills beat some of the good teams.
They beat you.
Yeah, they beat you, for example, right? Like if you're trying to prove that you're the team of the division, like we thought you were at one point in our rankings, the team that put up 70, but you, again, yes, it's tough to put up 70 against any team, but you did it against the Broncos, right? Now you got to put, like, you let Chris Jones and Trent McDuffie destroy you, essentially.
So Chris Jones is a beast.
You need to, like, when the fall, like, your remaining schedule now, the only tough matchup you have is the Ravens, Bills, and Cowboys, right? I don't care about the Raiders. We already know the shit show they are. The Jets, they're a shit show. Commanders, they're a shit show.
My boy Aiden O'Connell is gonna rip it up.
Okay, and then the Titans and the Jets again. So like your last, so technically, based on what you're going, you should have 6 losses. So what's the math there? 11 and 6. So
yeah.
you should be going 11 and 6. But the problem is, I want to see you beat the Cowboys, the Ravens, or the Bills. Yes, I'm counting Cowboys as a good team because they are a good team at the end of the day. That's how you're gonna make it go into the like. The good news is you're probably gonna get into the playoffs because of your schedule.
Bad news is
you're not gonna, if you finish top wild card, you're probably playing the
4th seed.
And who's
Doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter where you finish. You're gonna play someone that's good, that has a winning record, and you're 0-3 against winning records.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what matters.
Okay, but yeah, so I just need you guys now. Unfortunately, we have to wait till Christmas Eve to see that, but it's disappointing though, because like eventually you got to play one of these teams in the playoffs, and we know what the Chiefs and at times the Bills do. Maybe the Bengals, we know what they have. Those 3 teams historically have had great playoff performances. Heck, even Jacksonville came back from 30 down last year to win, right? So, yeah, that's my disappointing team.
Surprise of the week for me is gonna be more player and a coach. Shout out to Antonio Pierce and the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the Giants, but you still dropped 30. Right, that's impressive enough right there. That just shows how bad Josh McDaniels was, and how goated Aiden O'Connell is, and also Josh Jacobs finally had a game too, which obviously helps. And then the second player, historic Sunday for him, CJ Stroud.
Okay, I was gonna go there. I thought you were gonna say Aiden O'Connell and them, but yeah, go finish off.
CJ Stroud, historic performance by him, breaking the rookie passing yards in a game, and also a game-winning drive with 40 seconds. I think no timeouts. Him and Tank Dell connecting on 2, one pass on the sideline, and the next pass being a touchdown. So, yeah, shout out to CJ Stroud. And I'm scared of you because you're going to be in my division for a long, long time.
Before we get into the division for a second and I give mine, did ESPN hack into our thing? Because we didn't release the episode and they were talking about MVP.
Exactly,
like you were
right?
trying to bring up.
We had it recorded the night before.
Yeah.
But then obviously they air the next morning, Monday morning. We
released ours like at 2 or 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock,
PST.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no. Like I said, to your point, I don't think he'll get it or get consideration unless he wins the division. That's it. But I feel like he should get consideration.
Check out that pod.
He should be a Pro Bowler.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Check out that pod.
Yeah,
right? That's where we had our full-on argument.
It wasn't even an argument.
It was just, we're trying to make our cases here.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the case of the realism, and you're trying to make the case of like it should happen.
A narrative, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make that narrative happen, basically.
Before I say mine, division-wise, how long are you gonna say before the 4 quarterbacks in the AFC South, because that's where our squad's at, it's going to be like the toughest division in football. Take it over, essentially.
So I would say,
assuming everybody's
Lawrence is already there. Year 3 of their, because they're all the same rookie class. So year 3.
Year 3. Because CJ, right now, is looking fine. If the question is Anthony Richardson post-injury,
That's why I'm giving him an extra year
and Will Levis, we'll see how he does
in a full season.
Right? But my disappointment is, my surprise is obvious. Josh Dobbs. Like we talked about it, we don't need to go too much into it. Yeah, that's just the obvious one for me.
All right.
Thursday night football
previewing. Moving on.
Before we go previews, some news that came out. Our former Colts QB, former Eagles QB, and former Washington QB is taking the Baker Mayfield route. The difference, though, Baker Mayfield had played for the Carolina Panthers before he got cut, but the LA Rams have signed Carson Wentz, and I don't know if he's playing this weekend because I think Matthew Stafford's questionable, but I could double check that.
But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that he's on a team. Don't get me wrong, but my message to the Rams here is, if you're in a situation where you have to sign Carson Wentz, you got to draft a QB this upcoming draft.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say.
There's one, you're with Sean McVay, so let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens, yeah.
But the other news is, like we mentioned earlier, Will Levis is officially QB1.
No, 100% has to be. He has to be QB1. He had more touchdown passes in the game than Tannehill had all season. So that's prime evidence right there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into Thursday Night Football. Carolina versus Chicago. The battle of the shit. The battle of where Chicago gets both picks. Sorry, Carolina. No, Chicago gets both picks. So
either
way, they're in a win-win situation because of that. I went with the Panthers, even though according to the score, Chicago is a -3.5. So
I just had this gut feeling.
I know, like
that's why I picked the Panthers.
I don't even care if Tyson Badge is playing or not. Even if Justin Fields was playing, I probably would have picked it. Now, the Panthers' defense wasn't too bad against the Colts. To be fair, they weren't horrendous.
Like it took 2 Kenny Moore touchdowns.
Yeah, to win that game, right? And then, for me, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this game. I expect they're both 7 losses. Panthers only have 1 win. Bears have 2 wins, right?
Yeah, so you expect a dud. You expect everything. Panthers legit. It doesn't matter if they lose. So
they are one of my most disappointing teams because their coaching staff is up there. But then when, like I said, like Nick Shook said, their O-line isn't the greatest.
The coaching is past their prime.
The O-line isn't the greatest, and then we'll see. But
yeah, I mean, I expect a dud game. The reason why I'm going with the Panthers is, like, if they win, it doesn't cost them anything.
Yeah.
Right? Where the Bears, it might cost them a little bit just because Arizona is still in the mix, up there
right
as well.
Right now, Chicago is probably getting Caleb Williams if he declares, and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Unless Arizona has something to say about that. Arizona could be the first number 1 overall pick.
True. That one's a different question. I'll bring it up when we talk about Arizona.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after, like later on if that ever happens. If they are the number 1 pick, because do they trade it or do they just straight up draft Marvin Harrison Jr. number 1?
Because we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, I want do you expect this game to be Colts Broncos 2.0?
No,
I think expect it to be a little bit more exciting.
I think they're both so bad we might actually get something good to watch.
I mean, last year was pretty bad.
Yeah. I don't know how math is like 2 negatives equal a positive. Sometimes it works out.
Yeah.
And other times you have Colts Broncos.
Yeah. Before we go with the superlatives for this week, I have Panthers, let's just say by a score.
I have Panthers too, just because I have no logic. I just a gut feeling.
Yeah. Why the hell is the Jets Raiders not flexed out?
I don't know.
I don't care. Know. This was prior to Antonio
Browns and Ravens are playing the same week.
And Lions Chargers are playing, which is okay. No, but then Niners Jags.
Niners Jags and Browns Ravens. There's Monday night and Sunday night right there. Simple as that.
I'm okay with the Monday night because Buffalo's at least in there. But the way they've been playing, I don't know. But yeah, like there's no question that Browns Ravens should have been should have been a 10 a.m. game. It should have been flexed into prime time.
Yeah.
Dude, what's the point of flexing?
Exactly, right? There's no point. But speaking of Browns Ravens, that is our collective game of the week.
So the reason is simply that division is stacked. That like 1 win, 1 loss. Even the Ravens could be in trouble, even though they are first in that division by a game and a half.
Game and a half.
So, and the Browns, like I said, their defense elite. The only team to really mess them up, the Colts. And let's see. The question is Deshaun Watson. That's the biggest question mark.
It's always been the question. Because if you get Houston Deshaun Watson, this team is a contender, Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you're just like a barely playoff where like you're just relying on your defense and your best offensive player is already injured, which is Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Flip side, Ravens, they're balling out right now.
They are.
I mean, Lamar is playing good. Like he's playing he's not playing like Superman, but he's playing like whatever the game's giving him. Right, that's what he's taking. And obviously their defense is elite. Like I said, they've had many injuries this year already, but I feel like this is the healthiest they've been in the last few years.
Yeah.
Compared to that,
Different offensive scheme.
yeah, that helps a lot too as well. So it's a tough one. It is a tough one for sure. And because we don't know what Deshaun Watson we're getting.
They're -6 favorites, which is like a lot for football standards.
But,
from what I know.
Obviously,
I think it's a closer game than people might think. It's in Baltimore. I know Baltimore destroyed Cleveland in Cleveland. But it's a division game and it's split.
Dorian
sometimes.
Thompson.
Yeah.
Robinson who played that game.
There's that too then.
But yeah, no, if Deshaun Watson's injuries and he finds a way to bounce back, obviously it should be a freaking an insane probably game of the year if both teams play to their potential. But I'm edging it to the Ravens just because they've been looking phenomenal.
Same. All right, what's your game of the week?
I'm going with the Texans and Bengals.
That's a very Jobin pick.
CJ Stroud versus Joe Burrow. And it's honestly the way that both have been playing recently is a fair matchup, right?
That could have been Sunday Night Football. I wouldn't have been mad.
Yeah, exactly. And my draft prediction, I don't know like anyone else, I thought CJ Stroud was Joe Burrow. Like that was my. Like,
I don't know if you're cringe. I don't know if you're making like draft analysts.
That was like my comparison. I was like, bro, they're both so accurate, bro. They're both like, they're not like playmaking, they're quarterbacking type of thing, right? They're making throws in the pocket.
Yeah.
Whereas like, if you had the Mahomes and Josh Allen, they're improvising. Lamar Jackson obviously scrambling. Whereas Stroud and Burrow are gonna beat you with their accuracy.
You got me thinking. Keep talking. I want to see what his comp was.
What was his comp was?
Yeah, I want to look at the comp.
I swear, it has to be Joe Burrow in my opinion. But yeah, I'm excited for this game. Bengals defense, Texans defense are pretty decent. They're not like obviously trash, but I expect Stroud and Burrow to still pick them apart.
So okay, this is according to Clutch Point. Geno Smith, Dak Prescott. This is last year's Geno. Dak Prescott and Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is fair too. Jared Goff is a fair one. Last year, Jared
NFL.com. So I don't know if this is Nick Shuck who did it. Let me see. Prospect grade we saw.
Is there a comparison there?
I'm looking at it. I'm trying to find it. Jared Goff.
Nah.
This is by Lance Zierlein, from NFL analyst from NFL.com.
I don't know. To me, just how they're.
I think because Joe Burrow's the extreme.
I guess
that's probably why as well. I could see the Goff for sure.
I could see the Goff 100%. I don't disagree with the Goff, but the thing is, these guys are so accurate, bro.
Yeah,
like that's how they are so good. Whereas Mahomes is like, is improvising that makes him the best, right? Where Lamar it's his running that makes him, elite level quarterback. These guys is the accuracies, and they're both really good at that. Really good at that.
Yeah. Okay, mine. Niners, Jags. Simple. Both are first in the division. Very quick. Jags are on a hot streak ever since their loss to the Texans. Was it?
Yeah.
Who did they lose to?
Ever since London, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So ever since London, they're on a huge streak. Niners on the reverse, right? They're on a 3-game losing streak. Got a bye week. Question is, can they bounce back? I believe they will. So I have the Niners winning this game, but I still expect it to be like somewhat of a close game. Trevor Lawrence is doing well. I won't say so far to say he's balling. Again, we should be better at going back and watching games. But
no, he's been playing like he's not making mistakes, right? That's like the number one thing.
Yeah.
Of playing well. Don't do anything wrong. Josh Allen.
Yeah. So the question is, which streak ends, or which streak continues?
Exactly.
Right. So. And if the Niners want to be on the level of the Eagles, as of recent weeks, they need to pick it up. And
they gotta pick it up.
And they don't have an easy schedule coming up.
What once was like the most unbeatable team in the NFL season has lost 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
Yeah. Players to watch, player matchup. For me, it's gonna come from the Lions-Chargers game. Chargers, on paper, have a good defense, but like results-wise, they don't have a really good passing defense. So this is why I picked Jared Goff to just absolutely ball out.
I thought you were going to pick Josh Dobbs against that defense with another week of practice.
Josh Dobbs?
They're playing the Saints.
Yeah. No, but I'm going with Jared Goff. Also picked him up as my bye week in fantasy, so he's going to be my fill-in for this week because Mahomes is on a bye. And Chargers don't have a good passing defense according to this season. Obviously, they balled out last week. Reason being is Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack were in the backfield the whole freaking game. So Jared Goff, pick apart that defense for me just because I really do need it, and for your team as well. And give the ball, distribute it to Amon-Ra or whoever else you have.
Okay. I'm going with. I know I said this one before already. Myles Garrett versus Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
That I was considering, but you already talked about enough of the CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow that I was thinking, let's see how CJ does in a head-to-head. Obviously not against each other directly, but like in a head-to-head, whose stats are better to see how he compares. Because he lost to Lamar Jackson, the only elite quarterback he played.
That was his first game.
I guess Trevor Lawrence as well. He beat that.
That was his first. Lamar was the first game.
Yeah, but like now it's like, okay, Joe Burrow is arguably top 3, top 5 year MVP pick. At least preseason wise, but yeah. So I think for me, I'm gonna just go with Myles Garrett chasing down Lamar Jackson.
That's fair. I mean, you're the most athletic defensive end ever, in my opinion.
Could be Depoy this year, and then there's
in my opinion, should be
Max Crosby is underrated.
Max
pick.
Crosby, TJ Watt's back in the conversation like he always is. But yeah, upset alert. You want to go first?
Arizona, baby. Kyler Murray is back.
That was my backup.
I actually picked Arizona, and to win this game, they gave Falcons. I think the odds makers based on score here. I don't know who they use. Kind of agree with us because it's -1.5, which is not that big. Because the other team I was considering, I'll let you say yours if you don't say it. I'll wait on that. But yeah, I just think Kyler's back. He's better than Clayton Tune. Atlanta might Atlanta things up.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Honestly, when I was making my picks, I totally forgot that Kyler was back. I think it happened before I got the news.
Kyler Murray is... I purposely did not say it when Will Levis was named QB1.
So, so when I made my pick, I picked the Falcons. And then later on, I think Kyler's like, oh, Kyler's playing. So I never changed it back again. But that's probably one thing might switch up. But mine is, I'm putting the Saints on upset alert.
I knew it. I mixed it up. That's the one. That's the Jobin pick.
I'm putting the Saints on upset alert. I'm on the Joshua Dobbs bandwagon train. But it's not because the Saints defense is going to mess it up. Even though, honestly, they haven't been playing well in the first half, right? They haven't played well. They didn't play well against first half against the Bears or Indianapolis. They played well second half, obviously, the clutch time.
Yeah.
Whereas the offense... it's coming around a little bit. It's on and off. They have a good game against Indy. They were there kind of against the Bears and turned off and turned it back on again. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'm going with
the ones I would consider was
Saints.
Washington. I was considering Washington over Seattle, but I'm like Seattle's secondary is better, and then I think adding Leonard Williams better help their pass rush against that old line.
Oh, that old line, yeah.
Yeah, that was one consideration. Chargers over Lions was my other one. And the last one for me was Texans over Bengals. Like, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's -7. That's a massive underdog, right? So I won't be surprised if that actually happens. But to close it off before we go into baseball and a lot of baseball news. But Indy, we got to talk about them. Because there's a big topic on the Patriots that we have to talk about. But this game's in Frankfurt, so it's a 6:30 a.m. game. Man United play at 7 a.m. Saturday. I don't know if it's worth it. Even for 7 a.m. at this point after what we witnessed.
It might not be.
But Colts, we kind of have to, because one thing I learned, don't be excited for your teams in sports, because here's the thing. I'm excited for the Lakers this year. So far, they're shitting the bed. Now, injuries could be a factor. The Manchester United, shitting the bed. Toronto Blue Jays did better than both of them so far, but disappointment. The Canucks, don't get me wrong, I was slightly excited, but not to if I was ranking the excitement levels, they were
cautious.
They were fourth on the list.
We were cautious about them.
And now they're, I don't know how they're third best team in the league, and we're still confused by that, and we'll talk about them later.
And then with Indy, we had no expectations.
And now they were, pre-injury, they were pre-Anthony Richardson injury, even with some games with Gardner Minshew, they were killing it.
I mean, heck, yo.
So that's the one thing I learned. For sure.
Honestly, you have a favorable schedule.
They're favorites against New England.
You have, I think, New England's it's funny to say, New England's the lowest.
2-7.
They're the worst team in the conference.
Are they?
They're the worst team in the AFC.
It's not the AFC South.
They're the worst team. It's the worst. I checked them. They're 2-7.
The Broncos, they're better than the Broncos?
Broncos have 3 wins.
Oh, yeah, because they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's weird to say. But, what was I gonna say? Colts. They have a chance, right? Like they have the second easiest schedule remaining, right? If they Gardner Minshew, please don't turn the ball over.
Are they gonna? Question is the way they're gonna get in my opinion, is to win the division at 6-2 Jags right now.
Who knows? Let
me see the Jags schedule, but continue.
5-3. They're 4-5 right now, right?
Yeah.
So what is that? A game and a half behind, 2 games behind, basically.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but
the Jags schedule isn't the hardest either.
It isn't either, right?
Niners, Bengals, Browns, Ravens, but
Still
then
tough,
they have
yeah.
2 Titans games and a Texans game still. So it is somewhat. It's okay.
But I'm not thinking division. I'm thinking wild card, just because I don't think division.
Wild card. I think they can't. They're
There's
not touching anyone
There's
in
a
the
lot
north.
of teams, right?
They're not touching anyone in the north.
Exactly. That's the thing. But the Canucks flag is falling off.
Well, we gotta retape this.
Yeah, that's
fine.
Let's
Boys, you guys are winning, man. We're not disappointed.
Let's hope that doesn't symbolize the season will just start
Yeah.
falling off, actually. But yeah, no, Colts, Pats. I expect the Colts win,
Yeah, same here.
right? Like genuinely, Shane Steichen, what he's done with his offense, without his franchise quarterback, without Jonathan Taylor for the first 5 weeks because he didn't even use him in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I think you gotta feed the ball to Jonathan Taylor. He's coming back here. Feed some to Zach Moss just because he deserves it too.
And your fantasy.
And my fantasy, but
That's the real reason.
that's the real reason. No, but try to make Gardner Minshew as comfortable as possible, because I feel like we're putting too much in the hands of Gardner
Here's
Minshew,
the thing.
which led to the turnovers against the Browns and the Jaguars.
Now he is going against the Bill Belichick defense, so it's not going to be easy. But for the Colts side of things, yeah, you're right. Go do that. Shane Steichen, like I said, offensive game planning, it's pretty good. The only thing might be timeout management. That's probably the weakness. Overall game management should be better in decision making of the defensive side. For example, Tony Brown should not have been playing that game.
Saints, yeah.
But I blame more on Gus, and like I said, Gus's scheme. I think I don't know. It's for me. It's very volatile because it's like predictable in my opinion. It's easy cover 3, barely blitzes. Like I want Eberflus back because I'm a huge fan of Shaq Leonard, and right now Darius Leonard is better than Shaq Leonard. The difference was Eberflus versus Gus Bradley.
Exactly.
But Patriots, and this is probably the title of the video. There's a lot of rumors that Bill Belichick could be fired if the Colts win this game. I don't really buy it.
No,
but
way.
They're saying the relationship between what's his name? Robert Blank? Oh,
Kraft.
I was mixing up
Robert Kraft, yeah.
Robert Kraft. I was mixing up the Atlanta guy.
Yeah.
Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick is downhill. I keep scared. I'm gonna hit the power off
I'm
button.
trying to freaking turn off the whole.
But yeah, is deteriorating there. There's obviously I saw a weird rumor that he could get traded to the Commanders or he could retire. Dude's 71. Right? He supposedly signed an extension. Obviously, we talked to Nick Shook, and he doesn't think that he'll relinquish GM duties. Do I still think he's the greatest coach of all time? Yes, because I'm not. Now, does it show? I don't blame him fully either, but about the whole Tom Brady leaving thing, that clearly, to a casual fan, it looks like on paper that, clearly it was Brady and not Belichick at all. I think that's bullshit. But because he doesn't have a play caller anymore, now he might get him back.
And Josh McDaniels might
and
come
the one
back,
year
yeah.
he was there before he got the Raiders job, Mac Jones in his rookie year was arguably for a while.
Arguably rookie of the year, yeah.
People were arguing.
Him and Jamar Chase. It was Jamar Chase and Mac Jones started balling out.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Jamar Chase should have won, which he did.
I don't think he gets fired because I think that's just too disrespectful. And obviously, I'm listening to the Pat McAfee show at work and Boston Connor. New England guy.
Yeah, Boston Connor.
It was like saying it makes no sense, right? He's saying that you give him one more year and you go get a whatever top 5 pick they get, whoever it is, whether it be a quarterback, whether it be a skill position player, maybe Marvin Harrison Jr., who knows, and that's gonna look so ugly.
That's gonna look so weird.
But go you spend some money properly, right? Now I get it, Belichick is the guy.
That's Belichick's
But
job too.
He's also the guy that finds not a way to finesse deals done, right?
He does.
But the thing is, I don't he's a legend, right? Like at the end of the day, is this ruining his legacy a little bit? Okay, maybe, but I don't think he should get fired.
Yeah, no,
I don't think
he
so.
deserves a year. He deserves another year.
Like how much can he control? Like how much is the defense? How much is it on the defense, really?
Exactly. So he's too good to not get another year, right?
Yeah.
And then he does his next year, get rid of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if he leaves, he's probably forced to retire. And then
That's what it is. But Belichick's too good of a coach. He deserves too much respect, and it will be very disrespectful if you fire him this year.
Does he pull a Brady and go to like Washington or something? What like they were saying, because of Ron Rivera on the hot seat. Does he go to Chargers? Does he go to? Is he too old? Is he not adapting into the culture way? I'm not talking about play style. That's different.
I think he's adapted many times already.
Yeah.
So I don't think adapting is an issue for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that's way like obviously we don't like New England for obvious reasons, but that's just disrespect if he somehow like doesn't go out on his own terms.
Yeah,
and maybe he goes out on his own terms because he's pissed off at the team, which is what I think should happen.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how much is in on Robert Kraft, but
who knows? That like it's a difficult situation because he is GM and coach, which kind of makes it a little bit weird. But also at the same time, he's been so good at coaching, he deserves that respect.
What would cause him to get fired this weekend? Yeah. Like, is it another Saints performance?
I think it has to be like a 40-0 performance,
and he'll be like, "Yeah, you're gone." Has any coach at any sport at that his magnitude ever get fired?
No.
I don't think Phil Jackson ever get fired. I guess based on the documentary Last Dance, he's like, yeah, you ain't coming back. I think because he was out of contract. I don't think he really got fired.
Yeah, exactly. There's no one.
Pop is still coaching.
Pete Carroll's still
Fergie was always there. Pep left on his own terms every time.
Exactly. But yeah, honestly, we'll see what happens. We'll see if he actually does, if he doesn't. But ultimately, we agree that he deserves one more year, and if he doesn't,
so you don't predict he won't get fired mid-season.
No.
Imagine getting fired. That coach. Imagine getting fired mid-season.
Exactly.
Not end of year.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Right? I can't say there's no chance because I'm like from what I heard, Robert Kraft is that type of dude. At the same time, Robert Kraft knows he's the reason why he got 6 Super Bowls or whatever many he has won. Yeah, 6. So yeah, I don't think he gets fired. I don't think he gets fired in the offseason unless he leaves himself.
That's a different story.
But
yeah,
it's crazy.
That's wild. The fact that we're even talking
about
this.
Exactly. And it's actually, I get there's an argument.
Yeah, obviously, but he is too good not to be fired.
Yeah.
Right now, he deserves one more year, right? And if it's the same shit again, get fired. Obviously, Nick Shook said that. You agree with that? I'm saying it. So yeah, but that's NFL for now. Let's move on to the MLB.
So before we get into the news, in terms of no free agent signings as expected, like we're not surprised. The only updates we know are slightly on the Blue Jay side of things. But I should start looking at John Morosi's tweets starting next week, or John Heyman, or Ken Rosenthal, whoever. But a lot of managers hirings. But before we go into that, the BBWAA. It's also the Baseball Writers Association of America. Jovan looked so confused.
I was like, what?
Announces finalists for MLB's major awards. I'm not going to go through the all MLB teams. You guys can search that up.
But there's one we're going to talk about, which is AL Cy Young.
Okay, but before we get into that, AL MVP, the finalists are Shohei Ohtani, winner, Corey Seager, and Marcus Semien. If you're Marcus Semien,
you have no chance.
No, I'm saying if you're Marcus Semien, he was in this spot with the Blue Jays when Vladdy, who should have won, was with Shohei Ohtani. 2 Jays at the time, and now 2 Rangers are in, and Shohei's still gonna win it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a lock. There's no debate about this one. But as good of a season both of them had.
And then the NL side is
who would you have considered? I was a little surprised to see
Ohtani.
Semien. No,
what?
Like the finalists instead of Semien.
No, that's fair. I would have had to,
because people were saying J-Rod for a little bit because the second Efron there was
I wouldn't have considered anyone else.
No one in the Orioles. I don't know if Rosarena would have been.
No, those are 4, and then Semien edged out. But NL side is Ronald Acuna,
Mookie Betts, ready, same situation. 2 Dodgers and the Braves, and the Brave will probably win.
The Brave has to win.
Historic year.
40-70, what is it?
Yeah, something like that. So
he made his own category.
Yeah,
exactly.
Ronald Acuna Jr. also a lock. I don't know who. Like I said, I think these were the 3. There's no other debate.
There's no one else there.
So yeah, unfortunately, Mookie and Freddie, you ain't getting it. But
yeah.
you want to close out on AL Cy Young then?
We'll close on AL Cy Young.
Okay, so NL Cy Young, is this a debate? Blake Snell, Zach Gallen, Logan Webb. I don't want to count Logan Webb.
I don't think Logan Webb's getting it.
Blake Snell or Zach Gallen?
I think it's going to edge out to Blake Snell.
I want to give it to Zach Gallen just because they made the playoffs. Simple as. I'm not even counting the postseason.
Yeah.
I'm saying because they made the playoffs. Because if that's the case, the whole point is, I know baseball's tough to do it. I get that, right? Because then my argument for AL Cy Young was going to be the same thing.
You can't blame the pitcher. It's not Blake Snell's fault they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, completely not his fault. There could be a game where he had a stinker. Like against the Jays,
bro,
they had 10 walks.
They had many games that were stinkers.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, I think the more than the QB win loss, the pitcher win loss is more obscure.
Pitcher win loss is like genuinely.
Like Zach Gallen got the loss in game 6 or 5, whatever it was.
Game 5, right? Yeah.
So yeah, that one's. So you're saying Blake Snell will edge it out?
I think Blake Snell's gonna edge it out.
I think he'll edge it out, but I would personally vote
Zach Gallen's the second, yeah.
Because I want to give playoff. Like the whole point is the team has to make the playoffs somehow, and
but
you're right. It's baseball.
Yeah,
baseball isn't.
Baseball
like
is not a sport.
It's a sport where like a guy could just take over every single game, unless you're Shohei Ohtani.
If you're a batter, there's more chances you could take over. But like as a pitcher, if you take over, you could still be 0-0 when you leave the game.
Okay. Manager of the year: Bruce Bochy, Brandon Hyde of the Orioles, Kevin Cash of the Rays. No chance for Kevin Cash. I'm sorry. I'm giving it Brandon Hyde. It's Brandon Hyde. Bruce Bochy honestly should have won it if Orioles did not do what they did.
And if postseason considered.
Well, yeah, obviously that too. I'm just saying.
It's Brandon Hyde. There's no debate.
Yeah.
There's no debate here.
This is so we're gonna get into Craig Counsell later, but NL Manager of the Year: Craig Counsell, Brian Snitker of the Braves, and Skip Schumacher of the Marlins. If you're going the same way, is it Skip Schumacher, or are you gonna give it to Brian Snitker because they had a crazy year?
I think it's Snitker, in my opinion.
Because of the year?
Because they had a very good year.
Yeah, because the other side, Brandon Hyde also had a great year and the story.
Yeah, best team in
So
baseball.
it's either you give it to Schumacher, who did not think the Marlins would have made it. This is where I'm surprised the Diamondbacks guy probably didn't make
Lovolo, yeah.
But Snitker
Lovolo.
probably should edge it out.
Yeah, 100%.
AL Rookie of the Year: Gunnar Henderson,
Don't even say anything else.
Tanner Bibby,
Bibby,
and then Tristan Cassis.
I mean, respect to those guys because they had.
I thought like what's his name? Josh Young would have been in here.
He got injured. They had incredible years, but Gunnar Henderson was another level. And and outside Corbin Carroll, Kadoy Senga, and who's the third?
James Outman.
I'm sorry,
Corbin Carroll.
Senga, you had a shout in my opinion, but it's Corbin.
Are you surprised Ellie De La Cruz did not make it?
No,
as a finalist.
He fell off after.
He had that month hype, right?
He just had that month where he's just like,
all right, AL Cy Young. The reason why we kept it for last, the only thing the Jays were good at, really.
Kevin Gausman's a finalist.
Garrett Cole, Sonny Gray.
And Kevin
was there anyone
Gausman.
else that could have been considered for this? I could have added Chris Bassett if I wanted to, but that's a little bit of a homer. But is there any other pitcher? I guess Sonny Gray and the other guy.
Pablo
Lopez.
Maybe
any of the Mariners guys?
No, Luis Castillo wasn't that
Nathan
great
Eovaldi?
this year. Eovaldi could have been in there, yeah, for sure.
Nathan Eovaldi could have been in there.
McClanahan got
Valdez,
injured.
maybe?
McClanahan got injured for Rays. But yeah, no. I think it's those three. Those would have been my three.
Is it the same debate as the NL Cy Young that
it's Garrett Cole.
It should be Kevin Gausman in my opinion, but I think he did have a few stinkers later that were on him too.
It was Garrett Cole. It's Garrett Cole.
All that just to say it's
Garrett Cole.
Will you be surprised if Gausman wins?
Yes, I will honestly be surprised. The way the year that Garrett Cole was.
Yankees were so bad. Again, it's not
exactly, but like when you saw what
he
Garrett
destroyed
Cole
us,
did,
yeah,
it was not like that's genuinely like Blake Snell could have had some like it genuinely was not Garrett Cole's fault.
Okay,
for what happened with the Yankees this year.
So 4 days when this comes out, November 13 the award winners will be announced beginning of November 13 with Rookie of the Year followed by Manager of the Year. November 14 will be the Cy Young, and November 15. Wait. November 13 with the Rookie of the Year, followed by Manager of the Year on November 14, so that week.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Cy Young on the 15th and MVP on the 16th.
All right.
So in about a week's time, you'll find out most of the awards.
Exactly. But going to news.
Speaking of, we mentioned, let's say the biggest surprise. Start off with that.
Craig Counsell.
Yes. So.
In division is a Chicago Cub manager. They fired David Ross just like that when they saw Craig Counsell available.
So Chicago Cubs stunned the baseball world Monday, hiring former Milwaukee Brewers Craig Counsell, as you mentioned. Craig Counsell's contract with the Cubs will be 5 years and over a $40 million, which I think is the record now, according to Athletics' Ken Rosenthal. Today, they made a difficult decision. That's them saying that.
But yeah, I mean I think
Ross will get a job.
He should instantly. Genuinely.
But all the spots are filled at that one, I think.
Well, yeah, they probably are now. Yeah. But this is what I'm gonna say. Craig Counsell, great manager. he's been good with the Brewers. Been good for a long time.
Yeah.
Terrible postseason record, right? Cubs. David Ross got major relevant this year, and you just instantly fired him. Made Craig Counsell the record breaker, right?
So
that's where I'm like,
wait though.
What?
The Brewers made Counsell an offer to become the league's highest paid manager with a deal ranging around $5.5 million per season, according to Todd Rosiak of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
I never thought I'd say I would agree with Mad Dog Russo in my life.
What? I didn't hear what he said about this.
But he's nothing. He was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah.
Right. He's like, "Why the hell would you ever do that?" And then apparently Counsell said he wanted to play or go close to home, but apparently he lived in Wisconsin.
So how far is Green Bay from Chicago?
Milwaukee is it Wisconsin?
Yeah, Milwaukee is in Wisconsin. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Chicago's right beside it.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
But
he also interviewed with the Mets and the Guardians.
Yeah. But just there's nothing else to it now, right? Because like it's a genuine shock. They just record breaker guy to a guy who has like a 1 in 10 postseason record, and is he gonna take you over the top?
Owner is shocked. Brandon Woodruff is shocked. Again, we're not big manager guys, so we didn't know how big this was unless it's like hockey or
it was big,
kind of soccer.
We didn't know how big.
Baseball manager wise, we were kind of small.
We don't know baseball managers, but we know this was big.
Yeah,
like, I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Like it's in division. Like
that's
I saw when like
that's the cherry on top.
Because when we saw, and this legit, they fired a coach for him, so that's the difference. It's because it wasn't, Jays fans were saying, oh, like one of those Jays pages. I don't know if they're trolling a little bit more. That were saying like, oh yeah, let's bye Schneider, and obviously. It turned out to be the Cubs. The Cubs had a good year though last year, so that's the thing.
That's where David Ross got disrespected.
The question is though, how much is he gonna be better than David Ross, like you said, and is Cincy gonna make a massive jump? Is St. Louis gonna come back up? And who's the fifth? Pittsburgh's gonna be shit. But yeah,
Pittsburgh's the worst in that division.
Yeah, so.
That's it.
That's tough. That's why I'm gonna keep it there. But let's see.
First
game back, I'm ready to get booed. He's gonna probably get booed his ass off, and he's probably. I won't be surprised if he throws stuff on the field. The Brewers
players will probably boo themselves.
Yeah.
But moving on, Angels got their manager,
Ron Washington. You know the funny thing was, during the playoffs, we were talking about him.
Yeah,
because we didn't know what his name was. But Angels hired Ron Washington as manager. On 2-year deal.
We did know his name. We just forgot.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Because he was a Texas manager. So his main success is with the Texas Rangers when Texas, outside of this year's, obviously, because they won the World Series, was when they lost to St. Louis, Bruce Bochy's Bruce Bochy's Giants.
And then lost to
and then
the David Freese.
The David Freese, Albert Pujols.
Cardinals
back in 2011.
2011,
so it was 10 and 11, right?
So they lost back-to-back.
Washington signed a 2-year deal. Now, he's 71 years old, so they're taking the Dusty Baker route. And Dusty Baker hasn't won either. So is this enough? First of all, question number one, is this enough to convince Shohei Ohtani to stay?
No. It's up to Ohtani.
Because the reason why I agree with you there is, who was their manager before? The guy from the Cubs, right? Not the one before, the one before the one that just got fired.
Yeah, I forgot his name. He has glasses.
Yes.
He has glasses, I know.
What a description.
Madden, right?
Yeah, Joe Madden. Joe Madden.
Yeah.
So he was a good manager. I think didn't he win it with the Cubs?
Yeah, in 2016.
Yeah, so he hasn't managed since resigning as a skipper of the Texas. He hasn't managed since 2014.
It's not even about managing. Team's not good enough. It's as simple as that, right? It's nothing to do with managers, who was there, who wasn't there, who had good time in Angels because nobody did. Their team's not good enough, and that's what Ohtani needs. The team needs to be good. No manager is going to convince Ohtani to stay if your team is garbage.
So here's the thing, though. He was on the Braves. Alex Anthopoulos said that's a huge loss for us. And I trust Alex Anthopoulos. That's why.
Ron Washington?
Yeah, because he's like, he deserves it. He's everything you could want. It's a huge loss for us. And yeah, he says huge void, but I had 6 years with him.
I'm not saying this is not a gain for the Angels.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the team's not good enough. That's the main convincing factor for a player to show up. Right?
The way Ohtani will be convinced is if they add more pitching. Right? Simple as that.
They just got to be good. And then the thing is this, right? Like every player, right? Like,
yeah.
A caveat for every signing is how good is your team, how competitive you are, right?
I
don't think anyone's volunteering to sign with the San Jose Sharks, for example.
Yeah.
Right? They're trying to sign for a
Currently,
good
yeah.
team. Exactly. So that's
Washington
what comes into effect.
Washington beat out another veteran skipper in Buck Showalter.
Yeah.
So was he on the Mets last year?
Yeah.
He resigned.
He was on the Mets. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's according to John Morosi. So, hey, he had success. When I saw his name, I'm like, damn, and he hasn't managed since, which is insane.
Yeah, that's
and it was,
wild, yeah.
and he had success too. So, let's see if he goes the Dusty Baker route or gets.
Hopefully, like
does
I wish he does.
71 years old though, getting a job though. That's crazy. You must love ball to still have a stress. You're going to a situation where you potentially could have two superstars and your team could still be shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like 2 years though makes sense.
But is there anything else?
Oh yeah, there's more.
How much more? Probably should list these off now.
Mets hiring Yankees bench coach Mendoza as next manager. So
one thing I like about this, the guys are used to the New York culture.
So the Mets are hiring New York Yankees bench coach Carlos Mendoza as their next manager, reports the New York Post John Heyman and Joel Sherman. Mendoza, who's 43 years old, will take over as Mets manager after the organization parted away with Buck Showalter.
Yeah, so I like the signing just because, like I said, I don't know anything about this guy. I'll be honest with you, but I just like the fact that he's already in that New York culture, right? You already know what the fan base is gonna want. You already know what the fan base, the people expect of the Yankees and obviously the Mets as well. And we'll see what happens with the Mets, if they go big spending spree or not. But we'll see.
He's a young guy, so maybe not.
That could probably be a sign there.
Yeah, so last one before we talk about the Brewers for a second, because there's news from that one too. Cleveland Guardians hire Terry Francona, obviously not hired Terry Francona. Sorry, Terry Francona, I think, retired.
Yes.
So they hired Stephen Voigt as their new manager. He will receive a 3-year contract, according to Jeff Passan. He spent the 2023 season as the bullpen and quality control coach for the Seattle Mariners. 39-year-old will replace Francona. The Guardians interviewed Craig Counsell, and Voigt was his best seasons were remembered as a member of he's a catcher, as a member of the Oakland Athletics, where he had all-star appearances in 2015 and 16.
Young guy.
Little surprise for Cleveland, mainly.
Big shoes to fill.
I'd love to seen him in like Pittsburgh.
Big shoes to fill.
Stephen Voigt, though, 39-year-old manager. Is it now the trend that they're gonna follow the football route? Even young. NHL kind of following it too, because I think Washington Capitals coach is a young guy from Toronto, if I'm not mistaken.
Go young, yeah, he is, and I guess baseball's the last sport that's always gonna adapt to everything. We already know that.
Yeah,
like how bad they fell off, right? You know that they don't adapt to change well.
Yeah, and the last thing before we get into some free agency updates, if I see any, the Milwaukee Brewers are now coachless.
Yeah.
So 2 things. First, they're going after multiple people, but one of them,
they get David Ross.
That's what I was gonna go to.
Yeah.
Let's just go there.
They get David Ross.
They get David Ross. But so the multiple, they're saying that Don Mattingly, Jays bench coach, formerly Marlins manager, is high on their rankings. Don Mattingly recently just got a slight promotion. He's the offensive coordinator, and one of the comments I saw is like, since when did MLB have offensive coordinators?
Exactly. I was like so confused too.
But he's gonna have more of a role in terms of with the hitters. He didn't have much last year, which might be good, because I don't know why we brought back our hitting coach.
Exactly. I don't know.
So
either.
maybe Mattingly has more of a role and helps. I don't know though. So yeah, he's linked to that Brewers job. And, I would love the Brewers to just be like, you know what, David Ross, come over.
Please, because
like literally a trade.
I want Madeline to stay with the Blue Jays.
Just to see this 1 year and see what happens, right? Vladdy could have a Scotty Barnes type of jump this year.
He better.
Because he's staying. That's what he did in 2021 as well.
So he better. Yeah, that's it. Should we talk a little Blue Jays? Little update.
Yeah, Blue Jays. So
Chapman replacements.
It's priority. No, they're saying Chapman's priority. Ross Atkins had his thing.
But they're also looking at replacements already.
They are, in case. He is going to demand a lot of money because he is a Gold Glove again.
So right now, if you're looking at your candidates for your next year's third baseman, obviously Santiago Espinal by default is one.
Yeah.
Other 3, Chapman is another one.
Yes.
Eugenio Suarez is a trade target, and Heimer Candelario is a free agent target for the Blue Jays for third baseman. Those are your third base, I guess. third baseman to watch if you're a Blue Jays fan. But yeah, no, Chapman's gonna expect a lot of money, man. Like a multiple-time Gold Glove winner. The only issue is, can he hit?
See, I wouldn't mind. No, I'm not saying I'm giving him Springer money because Springer deserved every money we gave him. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm not arguing.
I'm just saying in general. I don't mind. I would love to prioritize Matt Chapman. The reason is because he still had. Yeah, he was bad this year, but he's still shown that he could hit here in like home run wise. Clearly, the Jays are prioritizing power bats because Jorge Soler is also. I don't know if you mentioned his name. Jock Peterson. You just said the other two. You traded Eugenio Suarez.
Eugenio Suarez, a power hitter.
How much, like his defense is that elite that I don't want to trade him.
That is true.
Who's better than him? Nolan Arenado? Are we gonna trade for Nolan Arenado? Realistically, do we want to give up another young prospect? Do we want to give up Levis Martinez, Arjun Namala, or whatever the case may be?
I know. So my point is like if you bring back Chapman and you bring back your other guys, what changes from last year?
That's the thing.
I
don't think anybody else is coming as much as I want Jordan Hicks to return. Now, can you replace Jordan Hicks with another Jordan Hicks? Sure. But Chapman, I could see, but I don't think we're going to pay him much. So you're right. I don't know if we trade for Eugenio Suarez or whatever, but I don't want our defense to take a hit on that third base side.
That is true. Like, I see your point, but that's my biggest issue.
Unless you trade for Nolan Arenado.
Like, if we're bringing back Chapman, we're rolling out your first five in the batting, six in the batting order is the same.
So what they're planning to doing is to get a power bat instead of Kevin Kiermaier, a.k.a. Jorge Soler, a.k.a. Jock Peterson.
Cody Bellinger,
right? So those guys could replace Kevin Kiermaier as like a third or fourth guy. So you have a guy like, you go Springer, Bichette, Guerrero, Bellinger, swap. And then the fifth guy could be hopefully someone else. And then you bring in Chapman, Varsho, Danny Johnson, Kirk,
just
whoever.
Find a cleanup guy, I guess.
That's the biggest need right now, a power bit.
Find a cleanup guy, clear the bases, plug into that 4, and just hit home runs.
So that's the only update we know. We potentially will be recording a guest video, analyst-wise, this weekend, which covers baseball and NBA. He does both, but I just need to confirm if it's still on. But couple of news before we go, since free agency started. Yeah. John Morosi, I'm just going to strictly look at his tweets. By the way, Canada lost to US 3-1 in that rivalry game. Because he does NHL.
Yeah, just quickly list these off.
The Japanese guy, Yoshinobu Yamamoto's posting will open soon, likely within the next week. So expect offers going out there. The Cardinals are looking to add 2 starting pitchers this offseason. So bring back the 2 guys they got rid of.
They should.
Pirates are hopeful Andrew McCutchen will resign. I'm sure he will because he's old.
Doesn't matter.
Padres are in the final stages of hiring their new manager. AJ Preller confirmed to reporters today. I don't know who it is. I don't know if AJ Preller is the manager or someone else is that the owner. So Padres need a job. David Ross. The Blue Jays have met with Heimer Candelario, according to Shai Davidi, like you mentioned. Angels managerial search, we already know that. The Phillies are interested in Sonny Gray and will be a top suitor for him if they do not retain free agent Aaron Nola. They might lose their first baseman because Bryce Harper is going to be first baseman most likely full-time.
So Rhys Hoskins.
Rhys Hoskins is a free agent and he could be gone.
Yeah, Rhys Hoskins, big part of the World Series run, torn ACL in spring training, so missed out all of last year. And obviously makes sense because Bryce Harper can't throw because he had Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
So
Pete Alonso, 50-50 trade, potentially. I don't want to do Vladdy for him, just to make that clear.
No.
Eduardo Rodriguez has informed teams no geographic restrictions in free agency.
Why do you say no to the Dodgers?
I don't know. Justin Turner is coming off a career... Justin Turner in general, I guess. And I think that's it from what I see.
By the way, if you're expecting an MLB...
Oh, Joey Votto could be a J.
Yeah, that's probably the last one.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're expecting an MLB free agent thing... Yeah, go finish off.
Jays showing interest in free agent Michael A. Taylor as the offseason gets underway. Taylor is 32, coming off a career high 21 home runs and a Gold Glove in 2021.
Yeah, good defensive guy there as well. But yeah, if you're expecting an MLB free agent episode,
big one here too.
All right,
sorry, this is a big one.
Okay, yeah, say it.
Red Sox, have spoken to the agent for Jordan Montgomery.
Okay, yeah, that's
and I will stop there before I find any new ones.
Yeah, right. The thing with MLB is like we can't really make it like an off-season episode unless everything happens together.
Yeah, so
Because
you're
it's
gonna
so
have
spread out.
like stuff like this from me sporadically.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's MLB news for today.
Let's get into some quick fire.
Quick fire. UFC is this weekend. There's no John Jones, Stipe Miocic, but we still have a banger main event in Yuri Prochazka and Alex Pereira for
The light heavyweight title.
Light heavyweight title, yeah.
Alex Pereira will be looking to defend his guy's honor in Glover Teixeira.
Yeah. So, who's your pick?
Yuri.
You going Yuri?
I'm going Yuri.
I'm
I
going
think
with-
the last time I saw Yuri fight, it was so sick
It was such a sick fight.
that I feel like I'm going to give him the edge. I feel like it'll be a decision. But it's tough because Alex Pereira hits hard.
I'm going with mine is Alex Pereira just because I feel like, you know, Yuri might have a little bit of ring rust, right? Octagon rust, whatever you want to call it. But whereas
Still
Alex
a ring.
Pereira,
Still a ring.
Yeah, Alex Pereira beat Jan. He's a tough competitor there. So I mean, this light heavyweight division is like is insane.
But Yuri was a monster.
Yuri, Yuri. I mean, to be fair, Yuri could have easily lost that fight. It wasn't for the
True.
last round where he got the knockout, basically.
I'm excited for it still. Good thing our soccer game's at 6, I believe, so we should be
Yeah.
talking time.
We're in the playoffs. We made the playoffs.
And we're in the finals for volleyball.
Exactly. We are the best family volleyball team in Surrey, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go. Actually, we got to prove that still.
Yeah,
But those guys might not be a family, though.
true.
They might just be friends. But, yeah.
No, before you go to college, UFC announced bangers to start off the year.
So, January.
So January is in Toronto, and it's middleweight champion Sean Strickland will make his first title defense against Dricus Duplessis, the South African,
yeah.
who was supposed to be in line to fight Izzy
Yeah.
at UFC 297 in January. I don't think Sean Strickland's happy that he's fighting in Canada. I think he tweeted something about why me in Canada, they don't have this, and this.
Well, suck it up.
Well, Toronto got a better matchup than Vancouver, that's for sure.
That's
Unless we had Pena. But we did have Oliveira, though. That's a big one.
Yeah,
But if only we had Nunez fighting in that one.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Pena fighting in
yeah.
that. Because that was actually a legit rivalry there.
February.
Next up, February at UFC 298, featherweight king, your boy, Alexander Volkanovski, after getting his ass kicked, unfortunately.
I'm a Volk guy, bro.
Will take on Ilya Topuria, the guy he was beefing after the first Volk.
Makachev.
No, sorry. When Volk won the fight against that guy.
Yair.
Yair. That one.
Yeah.
So he was beefing him there. Then lastly, bantamweight title holder Sean O'Malley will look to fight get his revenge against Marlo Vera, Cheeto Vera, who beat him, who he declares did not beat him, but he did. That he'll fight and headline UFC 299 in March. And yeah, so those are the three big ones.
And December, we have Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington.
Colby
So
Covington.
that's 4 straight
I
months.
think rumors are that he's hurt. I don't know. I want to see if there's an update. I'll check that quickly. But there's that. But the big one we're waiting for is when is Oliveira Makachev going to happen again?
So
Which was rumored for January, but
probably
it can't be a co-main event, right? That has to be the main event.
It's gonna be like
Honestly, I
it's
wouldn't.
gonna be in May. That's my guess.
They announced that the headline is supposed to be O'Malley and Vera, and trust me, O'Malley deserves it. But that's a co-main event fight.
Yeah, it could take over that one.
It could take over that one, but if it's announced as a headliner, then obviously it's a headliner. UFC 295, that's the only big one that we care about. UFC 296.
What's going on? Yeah.
Leon Edwards, Colby Covington is still on, and Alexander Potoja is defending the flyweight against Brandon Royval.
Yeah.
So not Brandon Moreno. So good. Jake Paul is fighting a professional boxer December 15.
A lot of fights coming. A lot of good
So
fights.
a lot of good
lined up
fights.
once a month.
Boxers
the next 4
are getting
months.
pissed off at YouTubers because like Dean the Great, Misfits champion, is calling out like Ryan Garcia and stuff, and Shakur Stevenson got pissed off at him. He's like, "I'll fight you one-handed and win."
Ryan Garcia's gonna cook you.
Here's the thing, right? Very quickly on this topic, because we can make its own thing when we do a future solo pod. I like influencer boxing because I feel like it is entertaining to a certain degree, but enough with the call-outs of like the pros. Even with Jake Paul calling Canelo, I'm like, shut up, because
there's influencers and there's pros.
there's pros I've done it since day one.
There's a reason why it's called influencer boxing.
Now, Tommy Fury, I'm not going to count him. I'm talking about guys that are world champions you're calling out here at the end of the day.
Exactly, that's the point.
So, Yeah, let them do their thing because Shakur will kick your ass.
It's influencer boxing for a reason.
Yeah.
You're influencers. And there's professional boxing.
Like the only one you
There's a
no,
difference.
no, world champions.
World champion.
Because Luis
fine.
Alcaraz Pineda is a professional boxer.
Okay.
And Tommy Fury. And we saw what happened there.
The
too.
best of the best.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good boxers that are not champions
Yeah.
right now. But yeah. Let's move on to college sports. College basketball is back.
Yeah. Honestly, let me search up who the biggest guy. Let me just see a mock draft very quickly of NBA. But I'm more excited for the women's because
Paige Beckers
is back, so UConn's gonna be good. LSU got upset already,
yeah.
But you got Haley Van Lith joining Angel Reese over there, and the squad is Flau'jae Johnson with Kim Mulkey, the
didn't pay off so far.
Cruella, whatever looking 101 Dalmatian girl.
Yeah.
And then we already know what the biggest show right now is Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark, yeah.
There's those ones. Who knows how South Carolina is going to be when all their players are gone?
Just wait till March.
Let's see how South Carolina is going to be.
Exactly. But just wait till March, you'll find out.
So, for NBA, the men's side, Ron Holland, who is arguably the first pick, is G League, so not college. Second pick, Alexander Sarr, is NBL, which is France. Or like a European League, also not NBA.
It's a global NCAA sport now.
Stephen Castle, according to this, or Stephon Castle, is UConn.
Yeah.
Then is Justin Edwards, which is Kentucky. So those are some names to watch out for. Then another G League guy. Maybe tune into watching G League this year.
I guess. Yeah.
Isaiah Collier from USC. I think that was the number one guy or something. So yeah, there's Baylor. So based on what I'm looking at here, watch out for Baylor. Watch out for Kentucky. Watch out for UConn. Watch out for USC because I don't know if Bronny's playing yet or if he's clear to play yet.
Yeah.
But those are the UCLA, Duke. So yeah, watch the classic ones there. So those are the top picks.
I'll be honest. The only I never followed like the prospects ever
because you waited to March Madness.
Huh? And that worked too. But the only one I know was Isaiah Collier.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah.
So Bleacher Report doesn't even have an NCAA guy tell Stephon Castle from UConn going fourth.
Yeah.
And then a Duke guy.
All right, so then that's it for that.
Oh no, college basketball, football very quickly. Is still the same top five. It's still Ohio State, Georgia,
Michigan,
Florida State. Might be punished.
Might be punished, yeah. And then Florida State.
And then UW still undefeated.
Washington is outside looking in right now.
And Oregon. Here's my question to you though. How can your Oregon get in? Is this they have to beat UW has to be undefeated because UW could lose a game still, like Washington State's a rivalry game. Oregon just say they win out, and they also beat Washington because their game was close if I wasn't mistaken. Right?
It was close. Yeah.
So let's just say Oregon beats UW in their the regional final, like how LSU Bama happened or Bama Georgia happened. Right?
Yeah.
What if Oregon wins that and let's just say FSU loses one? Does that get Oregon in? Because that conference was tough.
I don't know.
Colorado was decent for a bit.
This is so like there's so much gray area and like there's voters.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying in your opinion, is that the way they get in, because Michigan
they have to win out to get in,
or because Michigan and Ohio State play each other, and if it's not a close game, then one of the loser will probably get out, right? Like let's just say Ohio State destroys Michigan.
Yeah, that's true too.
And that's the only way I can see Oregon because UW should get in. Like it's so weird not seeing UW in, but the other teams ahead of them are undefeated. Unfortunately,
it's just so much gray area with this. But yeah, Oregon needs to win out. Obviously, it's obvious. There's like no need to say that. But
do you know when it's effective? That whole 12-team thing or whatever it was.
I don't know. I think it's next year. I think next year maybe.
Yeah.
Next year.
I'm just looking at the top 25.
But that's
USC falls out.
100%. College football. Done.
Okay.
Stop. NHL.
First off,
Canucks.
The Canucks or the Texas Rangers, agree or disagree?
Agree.
To start off the year.
Agree.
Now, hopefully it ends off that way too.
Yes.
Because I still think a downfall is going to happen.
100%.
Now, I hope it's not as extreme. That's for sure. They're two different sports.
Hope it's recoverable.
But the reason why I'm comparing them to the Texas Rangers is simply because no one really had Rangers being pretty good in the regular season. I said they were going to be good, but I didn't think they were going to be this good either. And they were going to be barely fighting a wild card spot. Barely fighting.
Same thing with the Canucks.
And same thing with the Canucks.
Wild card team, and they're killing it. And they're one of the top teams in the league right now. And they're on their East Canada road trip, starting today.
On the flip side, though, that DJ Smith looks like he's safe right now because he beat Toronto, but they played the Canucks today. Edmonton, man.
Edmonton.
Jack Campbell got waived. Second year into his deal. Ken Holland's only mainly bad contract, I guess you could say.
And Darnell Nurse.
Yeah, but like this one's worse.
This one's worse, yeah. And Edmonton, San Jose. San Jose got
Battle
the
of the shit.
San Jose got their first win.
Yeah.
But I think people saying like, oh, Philly needed to win. I think this makes it better because if San Jose win, they had the same amount of wins as Edmonton. In my opinion, it makes it better.
Have you ever seen McDavid look pissed off like this before?
Hey,
and Draisaitl.
We broke McDavid. We broke Edmonton. 3 games. We broke them. All 3 games.
So at home, it was 14-3 and then 4-3 at Edmonton. And then we play them now.
The overall score against Edmonton was 8 plus 4, 12 plus, was it 6? 18 to 3, 5.
Quick maths.
18 to 6.
Quick maths.
18
so 3 to 1
6.
essentially. It was that ratio, I guess. But
yeah.
But am I still crazy? Do you think that Edmonton will still make the playoffs?
No. Just because the McDavid is still there, right?
Yeah. They got to figure out their goaltending. That's the main thing. As bad as their defense has been, they got to figure out their goaltending. Maybe they get a new coach bump. Maybe the people are saying it's Boudreau or I think Wyshynski on Halford and Bruff said it could be Boudreau or Gerard Gallant.
The Boudreau bump is real. We experienced it firsthand.
Now their defense.
So the thing with this is, with the Boudreau bump, you gotta do it early.
Yeah.
The Travis Green was fired way too late.
Yeah. Okay. So before I get to the trade, very quickly though, Freddie Anderson is gonna be away from the team. A medical test discovered blood clotting in his body. There is no timetable for his turn, but he's expecting to make a full recovery. So
that's good to hear.
That's how Chris Bosh's career ended early.
Yeah.
So
hopefully he could fully recover and
get well soon.
Get back into. And then the news for that is they're trying out Yaroslav Halak.
So the Minnesota Wild made 2 trades. One, they traded away Kalen Addison to the San Jose Sharks for a for prospect Adam Roska and a 5th round pick in 2026. Then after that, they acquired veteran Zach Bogosian from the Tampa Bay Lightning for a 7th round pick in 2025. Bogosian's 33, heading to the final year of his contract, cheap contract. I saw Satyar Shah say this. I think it was him. If I'm wrong, it's someone from Vancouver media. That the Sharks have been so bad that they're adding a player not to be that bad.
Exactly.
Right?
I don't see like they've been so bad as like it's genuinely like they might be.
They beat Philly, by the way. I know you mentioned it slightly, but they beat Philly.
They've been so bad, but
they're trying not to be that bad. Because you gotta sell tickets.
It's either just so bad that they are genuinely that bad, or just so bad that they're purposely tanking.
I think according to Craig Bunnan, they're generally an AHL team.
They are
minus Anthony Duclair and some even like
trade deadline target right there.
Yeah.
Free my boy Anthony Duclair.
Yeah, like they gotta sell tickets too somehow. Like you can't be financially hit as a team. So there's that. Let's quickly end off on soccer. First thing though, get it out of the way. The thing I alluded to earlier. Friday, 4 a.m. PST. Canada especially, wake up. U17 World Cup begins. Our boy, our cousin, Jeevan Badwal, a.k.a. Jeevan Bodwal, according to
commentators.
Juwan Bodwal. World Cup, he's probably should be playing. He's starting
if they want to win.
According to Peter Galindo, you could check that podcast out. He said it, not me, that he was man of the match.
If they want to win.
Player of the tournament.
If they want to win.
Of the CONCACAF
If they want to win, he's starting.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
4 a.m. though, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be tough because I don't know what to expect. They're playing Spain off the bat. So I'm going to be dead tired for work, that's for sure. But good luck, Jeevan. Shout out Canada. Canadian soccer, wake up and let's see how it goes.
Support the boys. U17.
Friday morning 4 a.m., Monday morning 4 a.m., and then Thursday morning 1 a.m.
Yeah.
In Indonesia.
That's why it sucks.
But so good luck. Shout out to you. Get into Champions League. Let's get off with the group of death off the bat because it is genuinely the group of death now. This is the definition of a group of death.
7, 6, 5, 4, I believe, are the points.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the reverse order. So
yeah.
Nice.
That's mad.
I want to see what the exact thing is because PSG lost.
Dortmund is first.
Dortmund is now first after starting off horrible.
PSG is second. Newcastle,
which is what I had. I think my prediction.
Newcastle is third.
No.
I mean, AC Milan is third. Newcastle.
Now Newcastle. Yeah. Newcastle had a promising start. Is now fourth.
I said Dortmund was my lock,
This is
and I predicted the upset in Newcastle.
a genuine. Well, Sandro Tonali's not there.
That's also a big hit.
This is genuinely a group of death. Because like some people might think a group of death of one team to be utter shit. No, how Costa Rica was supposed to be on paper.
Yeah,
but yeah, genuinely living up to the name. I think right now, the teams that have qualified are Bayern Munich, Man City,
the Real Madrid.
Real Madrid has 10 points. So yeah, I think there's 2 games remaining, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. This is Real Sociedad. So Real Sociedad and Inter Milan have qualified.
Yeah.
They both have 10 each.
Yeah.
And then it's 3-0. So yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Real Madrid 12, 3 plus 6s. Yeah, so they're in.
If you have 12 points, you're in.
Yeah, you're in. So Real Madrid, Bayern Munich,
Barca blew it.
Barca blew it, yeah.
Barca could have clinched, but they blew it.
Real Sociedad and Inter Milan, that group is done. Group D is done. Atletico, that's tough. Atletico has 8, Lazio has 7, Feyenoord has 6.
Yeah, that's tough.
Celtic has a very, very, very slim chance because they can't even lose.
What about Arsenal? Arsenal, I think,
Arsenal have 9.
Yeah, so they're
9, 5, 5, 2. Because they lost to Lens.
So 5s. Yeah, one more win, they're in.
Barca blew
That's
it.
Like Barca blew it.
And let's talk about our team.
And Group A.
We are probably not even going to make Europa League.
Group A, Man United are 4th place.
Yeah.
Good news is we're not out of it. The bad news is
we might not even make Europa League.
We might not make Europa League.
But the good news is it'll be better to focus on just the league, but even though we're far behind, which is not a good thing.
And another bad news is we're a laughing stock.
Rashford is suspended now 3 games. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about the red card first because that
changed the game.
United were playing well, got 2 goals.
Front 3 was dominating.
Højlund dominating 2-0 lead up until the red card. And then ultimately red card, 2 goals with a 13-minute add-on time. It was a 2-2 at halftime. And the red card happened after the 40th minute. But technically there was like 13 minutes plus, so like 18 minutes left in the half.
Yeah. First off, let's get to the red card before we get to the game itself. The game they lost 4-3 to Copenhagen.
I mean, that was the game itself, the red card.
Red card though. So Rashford got called for a stamp or stamp, whatever you want to call it. But it wasn't like a deliberate he wasn't going in a challenge like that.
Alright, the best way to explain it. If you're looking at the picture, it's a red card.
Yes.
If you're looking at the play and you play soccer, everyone clearly knows that Rashford is trying to shield the ball.
Yeah.
That's what was happening. So, do you call it because of the picture or do you call it the play?
It's the play. It has to be the play.
That's the question here.
So here's the thing. We're not homers. If you're gonna say that we're being homers, Jamie Carragher's a Liverpool legend. Why would he have any stock in saying this?
Exactly.
Robbie Savage, who is known for United, is the one on commentary saying, "Oh yeah, it's not right."
Yeah.
It's a straight red in his eyes. I don't know who was doing the TNT halftime show.
Scholes and Hargreaves.
So they were saying hell no either, right?
Yeah.
Like when you look at the play, and our cousin said it perfectly. He's an Arsenal fan, so he's definitely not gonna give a shit about this because he's tormented.
Yeah.
But freeze frame and slow motion is ruining the game. He's not the only one to say it. Many people are saying it now. VAR for me was only beneficial for offside, and you still messed that up with the Liverpool game.
Exactly.
Right? And there's no consistency with it. This is UEFA. This is not even FA. This is UEFA now.
Yeah.
That's not a red card because for me it's not just because he's like you said he's turning into the body. Yeah, it happened his foot to be there.
You give the foul.
It's not accidental or nothing.
You give but red card. Big thing why red card is a red card is intent.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what drives it to being a red card.
Majority of them. Yeah.
Majority of them. Right. There's no intent here.
Straight red to be exact.
He was even looking at the player.
Straight red to be exact.
Yeah. He was even looking at the player.
Yeah.
Right. This was a straight red in this situation. It's not like it was a second yellow. So, I mean, that's our take. Are you calling the picture or are you calling the play? Because the play is that he wasn't looking at the player and he was shielding the ball.
Yeah.
And he happened to stomp on the guy.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
The consistency, I don't get it. And the handball is a little harsh. I see why they gave it to Harry Maguire. That led to the penalty. Then Bruno took the lead, though, because we started dominating.
On our own handball, so that kind of evened out as well.
Then I don't know what happened. I don't know what Dallo was thinking in the last goal, and I don't know why he subbed off. I don't know why he subbed off Mount striker.
We were playing good in the second half until until Dallo and then Varane and Maguire trying to play at the back when you're a man down.
We won't talk about Ten Hag this.
It was not Ten Hag. It's not on Ten Hag, this one. It's more players and it's more just unfortunate mishappenings.
Yeah, like Ten Hag in general, we won't go on too long to rant on it because we were supposed to do it last time. Obviously, we ran out of time. Next week, maybe, depending on what happens on the weekend against Luton Town, who gave Liverpool trouble, by the way. But
true.
Yeah, so UCL-wise, that's the biggest update we have. There was no other real news. Again, as always.
Hey, I mean, if you're
officiating, we might have Peter Galindo on soon, so we bring up officiating because we had the whole
Whitecaps
situation as well.
But yeah, no, if you're a neutral fan, what a game to watch.
Yeah.
But
as a United fan, it's a shit show this year. It's a classic second year United.
It's like when we genuinely were playing good, and we still might.
Whoa, dude, I love that front three.
That front three was perfect.
Maybe, yeah, McTominay played well, so I can't even say for that level of a game, I was fine with not Amrabat starting, but maybe a better team, it should have been Amrabat, and maybe instead of Eriksen, it could have been someone else.
Van Bissaka's looking good again.
Van Bissaka's looking great.
And then, I think Johnny Evans got hurt as well.
He got hurt. I don't know. I think Rafa Varane's done now. I think he's going to Saudi for sure.
Probably, yes. But yeah, that covers...
If Johnny Evans beating you.
Soccer, right? That covers
soccer. That's pretty much it. We'll stop it right there. Like we said, let me check if we're at 199 or 200 right now.
Probably not.
And let's do a live check just to be safe. Just to be safe.
Yeah.
To end the pod. Love the support on the last video. We're still at 198. But because it spiked today at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
But okay, we're still at 198. So help us get to 200. Hopefully by the end of this week. Because we have a guest video for you guys coming out this weekend. It will be a long one, giving you guys a heads up. But it's a great story.
Genuine
of a guy talking.
You're gonna learn a lot.
A guy talking about his mental health and everything like that.
Mental health, his endurance athlete.
Yeah, that's the hint you're gonna give.
But his story is incredible. Talking about everything from sports to
baseball
to mental health,
analytics, and everything. But
yeah,
so that's coming out this weekend, probably Saturday. Like I said, we're filming another one this weekend. Most likely, that should be coming out on Sunday or Monday, or sorry, not Monday or a Tuesday. That's an analyst one. I'll be reaching out to some other either returning guests or analysts or new analysts to see if we can set something up. But yeah, check out to that. Help us get to 200. Help us get to 200 followers on Instagram. We're always active on there. TikTok, get us to 100. Twitter, get us to like 50 for right now.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Other than that, we appreciate you guys for watching this. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.